everyone! Today, me and my group members will have a presentation on movie review for CRG650. Before we started, we will first get to know with our group members. My name is Alya Naylee. Next, we will have Nur Hazirah, Nurul Syasha, and Nur Faraheen. For this movie review group project, the title of the movie that we have selected is The Accountant. This movie is about a man called Christian Wolf. He is a forensic accountant that runs his small accounting firm called ZZZ Accounting. When he was a child, he was diagnosed with autism and always got bullied by his peers. Therefore, his father led him and his brother to learn martial arts in order to defend themselves against bullying. Chris' specialty is with numbers, mathematics, and identifying inconsistency in order. With this specialty, he is able to manage his wealth, which is actually too high for a small accounting firm. One day, Chris is hired to audit living robotics. They are run by Lama Bradburn and Rita after they are told about financial discrepancies by Dana Cummings, their in-house accountant. From the review, over $61 million has been misappropriated. However, Chris is unable to finish the audit. This has put himself and Dana at risk as there are hitmen that won't kill them. After he notices about they are in danger, he uses all his skills to defend himself and Dana. At the end, Chris finally successfully kills the mastermind of the embezzlement. In this movie, there are two main stakeholders that has been identified. Stakeholders are people who would be affected by the action of the company. They have interest in the decision made. The stakeholders in this movie is Raymond King and Marybeth Medina. Raymond King is a director of the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network at the Treasury Department. The first takes of Raymond King is he insists on knowing who the accountant is that he met years ago before he retired. Therefore, he hired Medina to track down the accountant only by a photo that did not show a clear face of the accountant. The trackdown of the accountant can help to achieve the goals of FinCEN. Other than that, Raymond King also has his own motives to look for the accountant as there are many questions to be answered. As for Medina's stakes, she agreed to work with Raymond King because she was threatened by Raymond as she faked her information in a government job application. So, she tried her best in looking for Chris' information to avoid being fired, and Raymond had promised to clean up her criminal record if she succeeds in the mission.
There are ethical dilemmas in this movie. First, delay. Lama Blackburn. Whether he wants to bury his secret or let other people know his secret. Second, whether he wants Christian to continue the investigation of the embezzlement or stop the investigation to cover his secret. The ethical dilemma arises when he tries to hide his secret. He covers all his faults by persuading Christian Wolf to inform and report directly to him. Blackburn hired Christian Wolf as the accountant to investigate the possible embezzlement in the company that he was informed by his sister, Rita. She turned one of Blackburn's associates noticed Wolf writing on the conference room whiteboard and suspect embezzlement over the previous 10 years. He ordered the assassin, Braxton, to kill Silton and make it look like an accident and make it seem like Silton was responsible for the embezzlement that happened. Blackburn secretly hired two janitors to clean the wall and whiteboard in the conference room where the Wolf wrote his suspicious note and asked Wolf to stop investigating further. Next, hero, Christian Wolf. whether he wants to share inconsistency information to everyone or keep the secret that he discovered, whether he and Dana saved from the assassin or not. The ethical dilemma arises when he needs to make decision whether to share the information or keep the secret that he discovered. There is a moment where Dana provides him with the company's record transaction. Christians discover that $61 million has been taken from the company. Christian and Dana were targeted for assassination. Christian decides to kill his pursuer and rescue Dana. After hiding from the assassin, they realized that the embezzlement money was reinvested in the company to raise living robotics stock price. Christian believes Rita is behind everything. He went to her house and found Rita dead after being murdered by the hitman. The hitman escaped just after Christian arrived at the Rita's home. Lama Blackburn is exposed as the real mastermind.
Thank you, Hazirah. Next, I will continue with the actions by the villain from a consequentialist point of view. Consequentialism is the idea that the moral worth of an action is determined solely by its contribution to the overall utility. Therefore, an action is said to be ethical if the benefits are greater than the burden. In this movie, the villain, which is Lama Blackburn, embezzled his company's money to reinvest back in an affiliate company. Christian Wolf, which is the accountant, found out about the embezzlement and was almost killed by the assassin of Lama Blackburn. From the consequentialist point of view, the action taken by Lama Blackburn is said to bring pleasure to stakeholders, such as the shareholders. This is because when Lama reinvested embezzled money to an affiliate company, it can raise robotic living stock price. Hence, it can increase the profit of the company and shareholders also would be satisfied. At the same time, it also can improve the company's image. I will pass to the next presenter, Faraheen.
Next, I will proceed to discuss the action taken by the hero from deontology point of view. Deontology is an ethical theory that emphasizes the rightness or wrongness of the actions. Deontology is different from consequentialism as it focuses on obligations or duties which are based on decisions or actions rather than the consequences of the actions. An action can be ethically correct even if it does not produce a net balance of good over evil for the decision maker. Based on this movie, Christian Hoof is an autistic math genius who has grown up and become a forensic accountant. He works in a small town office and owns a firm known as ZZZ Accounting to deal with the number of risky clients for a dangerous criminal organizations to uncover financial deception. Christian Hoof then was hired by the CEO of a living robotics to audit the firm since the company is having financial discrepancies in the company's financial reporting, involving millions of dollars. As Christian digs into the company's financial records and gets closer to the truth of the missing money, he discovers that more than $61 million has been misappropriation. However, when Christian Hoof uncovers that millions of dollars are missing, he and Dana Cummins, a junior accountant of the living robotics, become the targets of a deadly security squad since Dana also found out about the embezzlement in the living robotics. He tries to protect Dana from being targeted since she does not engage with the embezzlement fraud scheme. His action was rescuing Dana from being murdered by hitmen and at the same time trying to solve the issues of financial fraud arise in the company's accounting. According to the deontologist's perspective, Christian Hoof's action is ethical since it is obligation to review the company's financial record as he is an auditor of living robotics and find the reason of how the money was disappeared from the account of the company. In order to find the person behind the embezzlement of money in the company's account and to help others who are in danger. Next, what ethical actions based on the golden rule would you have taken if you were in the villain's shoes? Before that, let me explain what is a golden rule. According to the golden rule, it states that do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which means that you should treat others in the same way you want them to treat you. Based on the golden rule, if I were in the villain's shoes, I will not embezzle the money of the company as it will harm the company's reputation. By referring to the movie, Lama Blackburn was a villain and he was a mastermind in a financial crime in which he had money laundered the transaction on account of the company. Another action that I would take is to acknowledge the mistakes that I have made in the company and reveal the truth about the issues that happened which had caused many people suffering, especially the stakeholders. In this movie, Lama should admit his mistakes by speaking the truth and sincerely apologize for not repeating the mistakes. Other than that, I will take into account all the losses incurred by giving a compensation to those who are affected by it. To relate with the movie, Lama Blackburn should repay the money to the stakeholders as a compensation. That's all for me. Next, I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
The feelings that you would feel as the villain. First of all, if I become the villain of this movie, I will have the feeling of shame for embezzling the company's money. When the public know about the issue, the company's reputation will be ruined. Secondly, I would have the feeling of remorse for killing people for the sake of saving myself. Rather than admitting the mistake, the villain decided to kill people in order to save himself, which is something that we should not do. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter, Hazirah.
Lesson of the learn. The lesson that can be learned from the movie is that the selfishness will ruin the organization and society. This bad doing will make the organization goals unable to be achieved, and the cheating will be harm the individual and society as well. Next, we need to think rationally before making a decision. This way can also prevent fraud from occurring. We need to find an alternative to solve problem without affecting the surrounding. Last but not least, we should not abuse power and knowledge to gain personal benefit.
That's all from our group. Thank you.